Hi, Falcons. I decided to do a YouTube live because my phone, I don't think it has enough space, so hopefully this will work. Okay, Falcons, I want to know how you are. Are you managing? What's keeping you going? So, right now, everything's fine in my household. My husband works for HEB, so he's got his work cut out for me. I'm busy, teaching you and creating lessons and transitioning to online learning. And so we're both busy, we're both working, and Ethan and I are staying home. My husband, of course, he has to leave for work, but he's the only one really leaving the house. And what's keeping you going? How are you getting through this? For me, I'm cooking. I'm trying to be as creative as possible. So I took an online free watercolor class. I started a couple sewing projects. We're planning a garden and have already had a load of dirt or soil dumped in our driveway to plant things. And so I want you to tell me how you're doing. So if you could go to Google Classroom, I left a question during spring break, a discussion question. And if you want to just privately answer or answer where others can see, that's fine. But just let us know how you're doing. Check in. Okay, and number 2, the second thing I want to go over is I know you have a lot of questions. I know that some of you are probably really scared, and I can't fix all of that. I can't fix the world's problems, but I do want you to know in terms of school, don't worry. We got you. You have a district and a campus and teachers who care so much about you, and we are not going to let anything happen to you under our watch. So we don't have STAR test sophomores. Yay, good for that, right? So you don't have to worry about that. And let's say you don't learn everything that we had planned that you were going to learn this year. It's okay. It's okay, because guess who your teacher is next year if you do things right? We're going to be together again. So we have a little extra time. But also, since the state canceled STAR testing, we were going to do 3 weeks of STAR testing, right? Of prep. And then we were going to have the week of testing itself. Well, we've only really lost a week of instruction, which means that the state, by canceling state testing, gave you 3 more weeks of instruction. So we're going to be fine, okay? Juniors AP test. The College Board gave you a beautiful gift. Number 1, you're going to have no multiple choice on that test. That is a wonderful blessing. The second thing, you're not going to have to write 3 essays in 2 hours. You're going to have to write 1 essay, 1 free response question in 45 minutes. That's it. That is the whole test. And they're probably going to let you do it at home. So they haven't released how exactly that's going to work, but just know that we can relax a little bit. It's probably going to be a Q2 or a Q3 rhetorical analysis or argument. And so those are your strongest, right? So I don't think you really have a lot to worry about. I could be wrong. I can't read College Board's mind, but if they're not giving you that extra time to go over the documents, that's why I don't think it's going to be synthesis. Okay, let's talk now about work. Here's what I want you to do. Don't worry about what happened before spring break. Let's leave that work in the past, because I don't have a way to give you your work back, which has your feedback on it, which means you wouldn't have a chance to do rewrites on it. And so until we can work out some details as to how things like that are going to go, I'm going to tell you not to worry. I'll tell you if you need to worry. But you remember how I told y'all you need to just put trust in me. Remember, we're talking about y'all schedules for next year. And I said, if you can, do you trust me? And y'all said yes. And I said, I won't lead you wrong. Same with this, with your grades. Let's just not worry about that. Let's focus on moving forward. Every Sunday, hopefully around 5 p.m. or so, I will post your week's worth of obligations and responsibilities, your work, your assignments. And then it'll be due the next Sunday at 5 o'clock. So there will be slides just like we've done all year, but I'm going to set new slides so that we can refer to this week as week 1. The week after that is week 2. This will be remote learning is what we'll call this. So these will be like your remote learning plans. And then that way for folks who don't get online until, let's say, week 3, then they can just go through the slides and see what they've missed. So we'll keep building on them. So look for those to be posted in Google Classroom. Your first assignment, read every day. Read every day till we see each other again in real life. 15 minutes. Read whatever you want. Fiction, nonfiction. If you read something good, tell us about it. Hopefully what I can do is create some Zoom book clubs or Google Hangouts or Google Meet. That way we can see each other because I want to see your face, but I also want to meet your dog or your cat or whatever your pet is. That makes everybody feel good, seeing animals, right? I'd show you Don Corleone, but he's asleep, probably. Let's see, what else? Your real assignment for the week. Okay, sophomores and juniors alike. I want you to think about right now, we're in this global pandemic, and the things that you put out there into the world right now are primary documents. And one day people will be able to look at them and find out what life was like during this time. Anne Frank and her diary, y'all read that in 8th grade, right? So that gives us an account as what daily life was like for her. And it wasn't all focused on Holocaust things. Remember, she had the crush on Peter and, we got to hear about that. We got to hear regular kid stuff. It wasn't all doom and gloom. And that's what I'm looking for you is a true rounded account of what life is like for you. But it's going to be a multi-genre approach. And so I want you to think about timelines, recipes, social media posts. It could be a text, screenshots. It could be photos. It could be a lot of different types of writing or rhetoric. And so I want you to be thinking of what could go into your journal in order to paint a broad picture of what exactly life is like right now going through this. There's one way you could approach it is to think about like some big issues that are the big themes, the concepts that are happening right now that need to be discussed. One of them, for instance, is racism. We've seen a lot of Asians targeted regarding this, Asian restaurants, in fact. And so that's something that you could figure out what would be a way to show that in your journal besides just talking about it. Is there another way that might feel more authentic? Ingenuity. That's another concept we're seeing every day as I watch small businesses try to stay afloat. The panic, the fear, the empty grocery store shelves, pictures of those could be, could showcase that fear. All the stockpiling people have done. Predatorial behavior is another thing, people trying to take advantage of others during this time. So the people that are filling up truckloads of supplies that other people need and then selling them for higher prices online. I also see a lot of beautiful things happening with family and the quality time that people have with each other and how they're using that time. The downside is it's not all fun and games for everybody. And child abuse and domestic abuse is at a pretty high rate right now. So, and then lastly, like another concept I thought about was just the unlikely heroes. We're seeing some nurses and doctors get recognition in ways we just haven't seen before. And, I see even teachers, we're kind of getting a really good response from the public about changing the way we do everything. And, not all people are really good at that kind of change. So, how could you portray all these different things that are happening? And think in terms of one post a day. Okay. I'll have my example because I'm doing it too. I don't ask you. And so I have mine. It'll be on Google Classroom as well as a template for you to do in Google Slides for yourself. And then that way I can pop in and see how you're doing and put some comments on there as well, give you the feedback you need. And so sophomores, that's all I need you to do is the multi-genre journal and read. Juniors, I want you to do both of those things as well. Plus, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, there's a 45-minute review that the College Board is putting out for you. And these, every week, there will be 3, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it'll help prepare you for the AP exam. So I want you to watch those, and then I want you to write a little summary about it, and it'll be in Google Classroom, so you can put it there. I'll make a chart for you so you can put your responses. I want to know like what they covered and what you gained from it. Kind of summarize it as well. Talk about how you could use that information. And that's all I got for you guys. That's all I got. Just want you to know I miss you. I care about you. I hope that you have the supplies you need. And if you don't, let me know. Maybe I can find some resources for you. If you don't have books, I've got ideas of where you can look as well. So stay tuned. Look at Google Classroom every Sunday where your work will be. Then it will be due again the next Sunday at 5 o'clock. And then next week, hopefully, we can also bring in some face-to-face meetings on an electronic platform. All right, that's all I have for you. Take care. Check in. Tell me how you're doing. And I love you. Bye-bye.